New cars come with all kinds of bells and whistles these days, from heated seats all the way up to autonomous driving. But are they reliable? A new survey from Consumer Reports trying to answer that question today.
American families are getting financially destroyed by SUVs engineered to fail just as warranty protections expire. New reliability data reveals 10 models now hitting catastrophic breakdown rates before reaching 60,000 miles, turning dream vehicles into financial nightmares that can cost owners more than $20,000 in unexpected repairs. Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe is bleeding money from buyers who thought they were getting advanced hybrid technology, but instead got stuck with one of the most unreliable vehicles ever sold in America. This plug-in hybrid disaster is costing owners an average of $70,000 over 5 years, while losing $38,000 in value during the first 3 years alone. Stellantis rushed this complex hybrid system to market without proper testing, and the results speak for themselves through 18 separate recalls in just the first model year. Internal dealer reports reveal that Grand Cherokee 4xe models are experiencing sudden loss of motive power while driving, forcing families to pull over on busy highways when the vehicle simply stops working. Even worse, battery cell separator damage is causing electrical fires that have prompted federal safety investigations. The plug-in hybrid system that was supposed to save fuel is actually creating the most expensive repair bills in Jeep history. When the hybrid battery fails, replacement costs exceed $12,000, and that does not include the labor charges that can push total bills past $15,000. Dealers are reporting that some vehicles need complete powertrain replacements before reaching 40,000 miles. Smart buyers are avoiding this model entirely after seeing how quickly these vehicles depreciate when reliability problems become public knowledge. The 4xe loses value faster than any competitor because used car dealers know they will be stuck with expensive repairs that destroy any profit margins. The real tragedy is that Jeep marketed this as their most advanced Grand Cherokee ever, but internal documents show the company knew about electrical system problems months before the official launch. Buyers who trusted the Jeep brand name are now facing repair bills that exceed their monthly mortgage payments, turning what should have been reliable family transportation into a financial nightmare that follows them for years. Tesla Model Y. The Tesla Model Y is bleeding $33,586 in depreciation during the first 5 years, while forcing owners to spend an additional $2,448 on maintenance costs that traditional SUVs simply do not require. This mass-market electric SUV proves that Silicon Valley hype cannot overcome basic manufacturing problems that would have embarrassed automakers from the 1980s. Water leaks are flooding interior compartments every time it rains, with some owners reporting 7 trips to Tesla service centers for the same problem without getting a permanent fix. Consumer Reports data shows that Model Y owners experience water intrusion through taillights, trunk seals, and door frames, creating expensive interior damage that insurance companies often refuse to cover because Tesla classifies these as manufacturing defects rather than accident damage. The build quality problems extend far beyond water leaks, with panel gaps varying so wildly between vehicles that some look like they were assembled by different companies. Dashboard rattles create constant noise that makes highway driving unbearable, while seatbelt buckles hit interior panels, creating annoying sounds that Tesla service centers admit they cannot eliminate. Internal service bulletins reveal that Tesla knows about these quality control issues but continues shipping vehicles with known defects because the company prioritizes delivery numbers over customer satisfaction. Smart buyers are discovering that Tesla service appointments can take weeks to schedule, and many problems require multiple visits that never actually solve the underlying issues. The real financial devastation comes from depreciation rates that crush resale values when buyers realize they purchased a vehicle with build quality that falls short of economy cars from decades ago. Used car dealers are discounting Model Y trade-ins heavily because they know potential buyers will discover these quality problems during test drives, making these supposedly premium electric SUVs harder to sell than basic gas-powered alternatives. Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Chevrolet Blazer EV is costing early buyers thousands of dollars in lost time and repair expenses, while bleeding resale values so quickly that some owners are stuck with vehicles worth $15,000 less than they paid just months after purchase. General Motors rushed this electric SUV to market so aggressively that they had to halt all sales in March of 2024 to fix critical software problems that were leaving buyers stranded. The most shocking revelation came when Edmunds Automotive Testing revealed 23 separate fault codes on a Blazer EV that had fewer than 2,000 miles on the odometer and was only 2 months old. This represents the highest failure rate that major automotive publications have ever recorded on a new vehicle, forcing the test car to spend more than 2 weeks at the dealership with no clear timeline for repairs. Dealer service reports show that Blazer EV owners are experiencing window systems that randomly roll down all windows except the driver's side, infotainment screens that freeze in endless restart loops, and electrical systems that fail without any warning lights appearing on the dashboard. Some owners report their vehicles simply refusing to start, while others describe brake systems that stop working properly during normal driving conditions. Internal General Motors documents reveal that the company knew about software integration problems before launching the Blazer EV, but chose to ship vehicles anyway to meet aggressive sales targets set by corporate executives. Smart buyers who waited are now watching early adopters struggle with repair appointments that stretch for weeks, while dealerships admit they do not have the training or equipment needed to fix these complex electrical problems. The financial reality is that Blazer EV owners are becoming unpaid test drivers for General Motors, absorbing the costs of a rushed development program while watching their expensive electric SUVs turn into unreliable transportation that destroys both their budgets and their confidence in American automotive engineering. Mazda CX-70 and CX-90 plug-in hybrid models are bleeding owner confidence while costing buyers an average of $54,400 upfront for vehicles that are crashing reliability ratings faster than any Mazda in company history. These North American-designed SUVs have destroyed Mazda's reputation for dependable transportation by recording 10 separate recalls in just the first model year, forcing owners to make repeated trips to dealerships that often cannot fix the underlying problems. Mazda rushed these complex plug-in hybrid systems to market without proper testing, and the results are devastating for buyers who trusted the brand's historically strong reliability record. The CX-90 plug-in hybrid is experiencing powertrain integration problems that leave drivers stranded when the turbocharged engine fails to communicate properly with the electric motor system, creating sudden power loss during highway driving that puts families at serious safety risk. Internal dealer reports reveal that these plug-in variants struggle with electrical range accuracy that can be off by more than 50%, meaning owners who plan trips based on the vehicle's range estimates are getting stuck with dead batteries far from charging stations. The charging system itself frequently malfunctions, refusing to accept power from both home chargers and public charging networks, forcing owners to rely entirely on the gas engine that defeats the entire purpose of buying a plug-in hybrid. The most shocking development is that some vehicles are requiring complete powertrain replacements under warranty, with repair costs that would exceed $25,000 if owners had to pay out of pocket. Smart buyers are avoiding these models entirely after seeing how quickly Mazda's reputation for reliability collapsed when the company tried to compete in the complex plug-in hybrid market without the engineering expertise needed to make these systems work properly, leaving early adopters stuck with expensive SUVs that spend more time at dealerships than in their driveways. Nissan Pathfinder. The Nissan Pathfinder is bleeding owners an average of $4,600 in transmission replacement costs, while forcing families to face repair bills that often exceed the vehicle's remaining value by the time the continuously variable transmission inevitably fails. Nissan has continued using these problematic CVT transmissions despite knowing they typically fail between 50,000 and 70,000 miles, turning every Pathfinder into a ticking financial time bomb. Multiple generations of Pathfinders suffer from the same transmission problems that create whining noises, harsh shifting, and complete failure that leaves families stranded without warning. Internal dealer reports show that CVT transmission replacements have become so common that some service departments keep rebuilt units in stock specifically for Pathfinder owners who are experiencing these predictable failures. The financial devastation extends beyond transmission problems, with engine timing chain guides wearing prematurely and creating expensive internal damage that can cost an additional $3,000 to $5,000 to repair. Fuel system components fail regularly, including fuel pumps and start-stop systems that add thousands more in repair costs for owners who thought they were buying reliable family transportation. Smart buyers are discovering that used car dealers heavily discount Pathfinder trade-ins because they know these vehicles become financial liabilities once the CVT transmission starts showing signs of failure. The most tragic cases involve families who owe more on their car loans than their Pathfinders are worth when the transmission fails, forcing them to choose between paying for expensive repairs on a vehicle with questionable long-term reliability or taking a massive financial loss to get rid of the problem. Nissan continues marketing the Pathfinder as dependable family transportation, while internal documents show the company has extended CVT transmission warranties multiple times due to widespread failures, proving they know these transmissions are defective but continue selling them to unsuspecting buyers who trust the Nissan brand name without understanding the financial risks. Volkswagen Atlas/Atlas Cross Sport. The Volkswagen Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport are bleeding owners hundreds of dollars per year in engine oil costs, while forcing families to check oil levels weekly to prevent catastrophic engine damage from the EA888 turbocharged engine that burns oil faster than engines from failed automakers of decades past. Volkswagen actually considers consuming 1 full quart of oil every 1,200 miles to be normal operation, which means owners can expect to add 4 to 6 quarts of expensive synthetic oil between regular oil changes. Multiple class action lawsuits are targeting this engine design because owners are discovering that oil consumption rates this high indicate serious internal problems that Volkswagen refuses to fix under warranty. Some Atlas owners report adding 2 or 3 quarts of oil every month just to keep their engines running, creating ongoing costs that can exceed $50 per month for oil alone, not including the time and inconvenience of constantly monitoring oil levels. Internal Volkswagen service bulletins admit these oil consumption rates are problematic, but the company continues installing these engines in new vehicles while telling customers that burning oil at rates that would have triggered engine replacements 20 years ago is somehow acceptable today. Dealer reports show that Atlas owners who fail to check oil levels regularly are experiencing complete engine failures that cost $15,000 to $20,000 to repair. The most shocking revelation is that Volkswagen knew about these oil consumption problems before launching the Atlas, but chose to use the EA888 engine anyway to meet cost targets set by corporate executives. Smart buyers are avoiding these models entirely after learning that owning an Atlas means becoming a part-time automotive technician who must constantly monitor oil levels to prevent engine damage that destroys both the vehicle's value and the owner's budget, turning what should be reliable family transportation into an expensive maintenance nightmare that follows owners for years. Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer is bleeding owners an average of $10,000 in transmission repair costs, while earning the distinction of being the worst SUV lease deal available in America, proving that even Ford expects these vehicles to have high depreciation and maintenance expenses that destroy long-term value. Despite decades of development and multiple redesigns, the Explorer continues struggling with transmission reliability problems that leave families stranded and facing repair bills that often exceed their remaining car loan balances. Multiple generations of Explorers suffer from transmission shuddering that makes highway driving uncomfortable, harsh shifting that jerks passengers around during normal acceleration, and complete transmission failure that typically occurs between 30,000 and 60,000 miles. Internal dealer reports show that Explorer transmission problems have become so predictable that Ford service departments stock rebuilt transmissions specifically for these vehicles because they know failures are inevitable. The most concerning development for luxury buyers is that the Lyriq shares the same problematic Ultium platform as the disaster-prone Blazer EV. meaning owners can expect similar software glitches and electrical failures, but with repair costs that reflect Cadillac's premium pricing structure. Internal dealer reports show that Lyric owners are experiencing the same infotainment crashes and electrical problems that plague cheaper GM electric vehicles, but repair bills that can exceed $15,000 because luxury parts and labor rates double the financial impact. Smart buyers are discovering that luxury electric vehicles from traditional automakers combine the worst reliability issues of first-generation electric technology with repair costs that reflect premium brand positioning. The tragic reality is that Lyric buyers paid luxury prices to become beta testers for GM's unproven electric platform, absorbing both the financial costs and inconvenience of owning experimental technology, while watching their expensive electric SUVs depreciate faster than proven luxury vehicles from manufacturers with established electric vehicle expertise. Lincoln Nautilus. The Lincoln Nautilus is bleeding luxury buyers an average of $5,000 in display replacement costs, while forcing owners to accept a reliability score of 68 out of 100 that contradicts the premium pricing and luxury positioning that Lincoln uses to justify charging more than $50,000 for what amounts to a dressed-up Ford with expensive technology that fails regularly. Lincoln's attempt to compete with European luxury SUVs resulted in a vehicle that combines pretentious marketing with substandard reliability that destroys owner confidence. The sophisticated active noise cancellation system fails so regularly that owners report road noise levels that would be unacceptable in economy vehicles costing half the price, completely undermining the quiet luxury experience that Lincoln promises in their advertising campaigns. Internal dealer reports show that turbocharged engine problems create expensive repair bills that can exceed $8,000, while the hands-free driving system suffers from software issues that require repeated dealer reprogramming visits that never permanently solve the underlying problems. The most shocking financial blow comes from the 48-inch panoramic display that defines the interior experience, but frequently malfunctions, creating repair costs that can reach $5,000 for what essentially amounts to replacing an oversized computer screen that should cost a few $100s in any reasonable market. Smart buyers are discovering that Lincoln's technology-heavy approach creates multiple expensive failure points that traditional luxury vehicles simply do not have. The tragic reality is that Nautilus buyers are paying luxury prices for Ford reliability, wrapped in premium materials that double the repair costs when things go wrong. Used car dealers are heavily discounting Nautilus trade-ins because they understand these vehicles become financial liabilities once the complex technology systems start failing, leaving owners stuck with expensive repairs that often exceed the vehicle's remaining value while dealing with a luxury brand that charges premium prices for substandard engineering and questionable long-term reliability.